Hey, what's up guys, it's Apollo Uchiha here and welcome back to my channel. Today I am back with a new story. The name of this story is What If Naruto Was Secretly an Uchiha? And yeah guys, it is an unscripted story. Now before continuing this, shout out to where it is due. Shout out to Jimmy Desaitais for suggesting this idea. Last night I was reading your comments and most of you guys have interesting ideas, and I still promise you that I am going to write my own fan fiction and upload it in the form of a series on Meta What If channel soon. It's just that I'm quite confused on which comments to pick because many of you have banger ideas, to be honest, and I just can't understand which one I should make first. But anyways, eventually I will choose today and have to decide. Since I know I have to write a story for you guys, since it is a promise. And the rest of you guys' ideas, you shouldn't worry because you guys have awesome ideas and I will make them into stories, short movies and movies. But for the time being, this idea was the most sufficient, I think, because this is the only idea I remember since last night before I fell asleep. Anyways, I hope you don't mind and make sure you leave a like and subscribe to both of my channels. And without any further ado, let's begin with our today's story. Our story begins in the past as we see a young Minato Namikaze who was summoned from the academy by the Hokage Hiruzen Sarutobi into his office. As now we see, Minato was currently standing on the outside of the office as he was about to knock on the door. He was worried. What could it be? Did the Hokage found out his secret that he has been trying his best to hide? What if it was that? Well, whatever it was, he had to go inside. It was a direct order from his village leader. Not like he could deny that. But he wished he could. As now we see, as soon as he knocked, he heard a voice from within. Come in. It was the voice of a young Hiruzen Sarutobi. As soon as Minato set a foot inside, he was met with two people. Hiruzen Sarutobi himself, who was standing, and has his back turned towards him, as he was viewing the village from the window. As on the other side, his gaze fell on a white-haired man. As this man was none other than Jiraiya of the legendary Sanin. As Jiraiya smirked at him. Well, glad you can make it here, kid. Make yourself at home, because this might take a long time. What? I don't understand, Jiraiya-sama. Minato, did you think that we would not be able to find out your secret? As Minato's heart dropped, as he sighed, I didn't want it to hide it, but it's just that my father, I know, Izumo Uchiha. As Minato flinched after hearing that, an Uchiha that was disregarded as dishonorable and kicked out of the Uchiha clan, and then hunted by the men who killed him later on. You knew? I investigated it, kid. The Uchihas think that they could hide it and mask it completely from the council as well as from us. They forgot that I am the best spy master out there and have been dealing with these sort of stuff like it was the back of my hand, said Jiraiya. As Hiruzen then sighed and said, Jiraiya, let me handle this, please. Look, Minato, I'm not gonna say that I'm not pissed at this revelation, but I can understand why you tried your best to hide from the Uchihas. My mother tried her best. Before I was given into the orphanage, my mother gave the last message to the orphan Matrich, in which I was raised in. I know. I talked with her, and she revealed this to me as well. You already know so, then. Yes, I know that your mother wished for you to live a life free from the curse of hatred that the Uchihas had, and she didn't want you to be turned into a weapon or a warmongering as well as arrogant prick like any other Uchihas that exist. As Minato sighed. Yes. But have you found her? She went missing, didn't she? As Hiruzen had a sad look on his face. As Minato, being the clever one, understood immediately. They got her, didn't they? Unfortunately, yes, they did, Minato. Oh. As Minato's hands clenched so tight that his knuckle became white because of the rage that he was feeling. As he felt a hand on his shoulders as his eyes shot up, breaking him out of his stupor. Calm down, kid. You got your whole life ahead of you. But because of them, I lost both of my parents. I know. And I also know that you will be the key for the end of the curse of hatred, Minato. You have to be. What? I would like to train you. Would you like to be my student? as Minato's eyes widened, and from then on, Minato decided, answering in yes, making both Jiraiya and Hiruzen smile. As now we have a time skip. Time skip to the present, where we see it was October 10th. As it was supposed to be a peaceful night, the new Hokage Minato Namikaze was supposed to be to be happiest of all his life tonight because his son was about to be born. He had married a girl from the academy years whom he had fallen in love with, Kushina Uzumaki, as they were growing up. And both of them hated one thing, and that was the Uchihas, if anything at all, because of their arrogance as well as them being stubborn to no end, and just being pricks in general. Most of the class hated the Uchihas of that era and even previous before. As now we see, currently Minato was pacing back and forth as he heard cries of his wife from within, who was within labor. She was the Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi no Yoko, and that is why, to make sure the precautionary measures were taken, the couple had decided to do this process away from the village, but within the parameters, so much so that if needed, the help would arise. It was kept as discreet as possible. Minato did not want the Uchihas to target his child because he knew the Uchihas would try anything under the Fugaku Uchiha, who was his rival and an enemy of a sort. Even if Minato didn't want to admit it, he kind of seen him as such because Fugaku, since the beginning, has been jealous of him and seen him as a rival and as a stepping stone. He even got his two teams back in the Genin years killed because he thought that they were not good enough for him on the random missions. But thankfully enough, the final team at the end, thanks to the negotiation, more like, well, stubbornness of the Uchihas, the whole Uchiha team was formed, and the village was not happy with that. And so far, because of that, the Uchiha's relation with the village has only turned to shit. And Minato, being now the Hokage, didn't do any favors because Minato alongside the whole village was keeping them at the arm's length because he knew that how much dangerous and stubborn and pricks in general they could be. As now we see, Minato then heard a yell from within, and finally there was silence. As Minato's heart dropped, did something go wrong? Was everything alright? And then he heard the cries of a child. As suddenly the door opened, and out came Bibako Sarutobi, as she had a child in her arms, with blonde mop of hair as well as blue eyes. As Kushina was looking there, laying there tiredly, as she had a smile on her face, as Minato smiled while holding onto his son. As that is when Bibako then took the son from him. Why would you take him away? Enough. Kushina has went through a lot of hell, and she has the right. Plus, the baby needs to be fed. Or have you forgotten, Minato? Hi, said Minato, because the woman, well, he liked her as a grandmother figure, if anything, as he did towards, well, Hiruzen. As now we see, everything was peaceful and happy. Minato finally had achieved his other goal, the only other thing that he wanted aside from being a leader and a Hokage, and that was having his own family, his own children, and making sure they had everything that he couldn't have in the past, and make sure if he had the Sharingan like he did, his son wouldn't be targeted by the Uchihas like he was. As now we see, suddenly a scream was heard with a thud on the ground. As Kushina was holding on to her child, Bibako and the others fell down to the ground. As Minato arrived inside, rushing towards his wife, but before anything could happen, suddenly smoke bombs erupted. As a person was now holding onto a child, as Kushina screamed, "No, Naruto!" As Minato froze when he heard these words. On the other side, the masked person then said, "You think you could be happy after what you have caused to my clan, Minato? What clan? You know, you traitor. After all, how long can you hide from the truth, Minato Uchiha? My name is Minato Namikaze, and I am not affiliated in any way to that cursed clan." As the masked person began to laugh at this saying of Minato, "No matter how much you deny, Minato, those eyes of yours, they reveal everything to me. You are a part of the Uchiha clan. Don't deny your heritage." As now we see Minato's eyes widen as he realized that he, because of his rage, had unlocked the Sharingan. And his eyes were now red instead of blue. As now we see, Minato then took a defensive charge, but before anything could happen, the man threatened Minato, reminding him that his child was now in his possession. And after that, what followed suit was destruction. The man threw the child, laced with explosive tags, in the covering that the child laid in the air as Minato dashed to grab his son, while on the other side, Kushina was taken. As soon as Minato recovered Naruto and got away from the destruction of the site, we see that he heard a cry as the Kyubi Yoko began to materialize. Soon enough, Minato was able to locate Kushina and a man and saved her. And soon after that, we see the masked person who was standing atop of the Hokage monument had to dodge as Minato landed there with Harishin and as well as an axe kick. "You will pay for what you have done," yelled out Minato as a battle between the two ensued, only for the man to be injured by Minato. But even after facing near that experience, he was laughing. "What are you laughing about? I'm gonna end you. As soon after I do, I will find out where the Uchihas were involved or not, and they will pay heavily. That is if you survive tonight. Look behind you, Minato. The whole village will fall." As now we see, Minato was baffled. Now you have a choice to make. Is it me that you're going to pursue? Or are you going to save your precious home, Minato? As after that, Minato was taken aback as the man disappeared. Seeing that he had no other choice, Minato could only rely only on one option. As now we see, he brought to the battlefield his son. While on the other side, before Minato's and his son's arrival, we see that Hiruzen Sarutobi took the charge of the battle, as a peaceful night was suddenly turned into an attack that could be devastating and even ending of Konoha. As now we see, men were being flown left and right, thrown by like ragdolls by the Kyubi. As Hiruzen has said, "Keep the line still. We won't let the Biju cross. If we do, this is the end for our home. If we have to lay down our lives, we will do so. Because of the will of fire, we will not break down," yelled out Hiruzen as he saw his successor came there and with an infant child. As now we see, Hiruzen arrived next to him. "Minato, what the hell is going on?" "I don't have time to explain, but I will do so later. If that is I survive." "What do you mean by that?" "Within this scroll are the secrets. Every one of them." "Minato, your eyes," said Hiruzen, realizing that Minato had unlocked his Sharingan, that he wasn't able to do so. "I know." As now we see, after that, the battle ensued as in canon, and Minato and Kushina were able to seal the Biju within Naruto. And Minato was able to unlock not only Sharingan that night, but also the Mangekyo. Already knew about the legend, Minato, who was close to dying, then said one word to Hiruzen. "Everything is within that scroll. And promise me, Hiruzen-sama, you will take my eyes after my death. My son will use them once he's of the age. I believe you will give him the knowledge that he needs to be entrusted with. And promise me one thing, Hiruzen-sama. He will be seen as a hero. And do not trust the Uchihas no matter what they say." With these being his final words, Minato succumbed to death. As now we see, after that night, years begin to pass by. As the Uchihas as well as the villagers distrust grew within one another. Soon enough we see, 8 years later, only after that event, a new thing was going on, as the council meeting has just ended, as Fugaku Uchiha arrogantly walked out, claiming that this was nonsensical and waste of his time. As now we see Danzo, Koharu, and Homura, the elders as well as Hiruzen, were inside the office. The Uchihas have the gall to call the council meeting waste of their time. They are walking on thin ice, Hiruzen. And you know that you cannot save them. The people are already pissed as they are because of the arrogance of the Uchihas. And it's already adding the fuel to the fire that is burning brightly since the death of Minato and Kushina all those years ago. I know. You still haven't revealed what did Minato told you. Why we should be wary of the Uchihas. I think that the Uchihas were involved, or one of the Uchihas were. If that is the truth, then we need to look into this deeply, said Koharu, while Danzo was already making their own plans. And 1 year later, we see that the whole Uchiha clan was eradicated except for only one boy, Sasuke Uchiha. And the whole clan was eradicated by his older brother, and the person who was going to be the successor. The only redeemable Uchiha that people liked, Itachi Uchiha. As now we see, Hiruzen was with the elders, as elders and Hiruzen ganged up on Danzo. You did this, did you not? They were planning a coup. Look, Hiruzen said, as Hiruzen and the others were surprised when Danzo threw the files towards them. I have found the files, meetings, and a lot of evidence. But still, I don't understand what was the need to eradicate them. They needed to pay for what they were about to do. Or would you have they caused a war, a civil war, and our enemies would have taken this as a chance of seeing us as weakened and attack us. I had to make a call, Hiruzen, and I thought that this would be the only way. Look, I know that my methods were not correct, by any means. Not by a long shot, said Hiruzen, but this was need to be done. You know that Uchihas couldn't be reasoned with. You're right. I just hope that this boy that survived will be able to change that. Yes, let us see. As now we see, time begin to pass by as Naruto and Sasuke joined the academy alongside the current kids of the current generation. But something was different this time around. Naruto was not alone as he was, because Inoichi Yamanaka, who had seen just how lonely it could be while being alone after the third great shinobi war, couldn't let his friend and Hokage's child wonder, because he alongside the clan heads knew who he was. So, he had brought him in. Now unfortunately he couldn't adopt since because of the council and all, and the rules, but he could employ him and give him a job and a steady income, and in this way, he will have some sort of bonds, attachment to the village. The ones that Hokage wanted. And the Hokage was okay with that, thankfully enough. And thanks to this, not only Naruto, Ino were friends, but also Sakura was, after Naruto saved her from getting bullied because of her pink hair. As time went on, now we see them sitting together in the academy as the two girls were fawning over Sasuke. As Naruto grunted, I don't understand. Why are you always on that prick? I mean, seriously, that guy's an asshole. You can do way much better than that. As Sakura then said, oh hush Naruto, it's just that he's being cool and mysterious is all. Said Sakura, who was already acting like her kinder self to Naruto, almost like a sibling, while on the other side, Ino, well, because of her, Naruto was jealous because she was his best friend. And not only that, he kind of liked her, said Naruto, as he didn't want to admit it, but he did kind of liked her, and he was jealous of Sasuke. No matter what, because of Ino's happiness, he tried to befriend the damn brat, but because of his egotisticalness, it was all for naught. But all hell broke loose after a few years when they went on their first C-rank mission. Because of being Naruto being the odd one out, he was placed under Team 7 alongside with Sakura as well as Sasuke. As for Ino, her team alongside with Asuma, Shikamaru and Choji were also sent as backup after Kakashi requested them for the Land of Waves arc mission. But all hell broke loose when Naruto as well as Ino witnessed the death of Sakura in front of their eyes. Not only Naruto's Sharingan was activated, but his Mangekyo Sharingan as well. Naruto's eyes were bleeding as they were turned red. As Naruto dashed and charged towards with blinding rage towards Sasuke, only a few inches away from Sasuke was stopped a punch as Sasuke was smirking, but his smirk fell when he noticed Naruto's eyes. How can you have those eyes? Said Sasuke with shock. I will kill you for what you have done, said Naruto, as his killer intent became so much that he unintentionally used the jutsu from his dojutsu. As Sasuke was blown back, miles away, almost all of his bones were broken or shattered, while on the other side, Ino fell down to her knees, witnessing the death of her best friend. As for Naruto, he too was pissed. Sakura really was gone. As for Kakashi, he couldn't baffle or understand what just happened here. Did his one of his own students fucking kill the other one in front of his very eyes, and he couldn't do anything? He couldn't understand that. As soon as they returned after the mission was completed, we see that after the villagers, especially thanks to being Sakura's mom and father being the council members from civilian side, found out about this, they turned everyone, the council and the villagers, against the Uchiha, making them realize that it was hopeless to even support him because he followed the ideals of his ancestors. And as for Naruto, seeing that he was the one most pained because of them being the parents of Sakura, they, alongside Hokage, made sure that Naruto had the chance to redeem himself, to make people see him in a new light, that he wasn't the demon that everyone claimed him to be. Because unfortunately, in this universe, his heritage was also revealed. And as time went on, we see that Naruto proved his worth, while on the other side, Sasuke was put under house arrest because of his crimes. Since Uchihas were quite scarce, they needed Uchihas, as the council had deemed, and they were going to make the brat a breeding stock. As now we see time went on, Ino and Naruto found solace in one another, as both of them visited Sakura's grave whenever they had time, and they talked and joked about whatever crush that she had on Sasuke had died long ago, once he stabbed her, just to switch places. And all the brat said after even doing that was that she should be feeling honored to die because of him being an elite Uchiha and all that shit. If she could, she would make him a psycho, if he wasn't already one. She could make him brain dead as well. She was already plotting, but that is when Naruto arrived and comforted her. And that changed her perspective towards Naruto by a long shot. And so, time began to go on as everything as in canon happened. The Chunin exams, but this time around, Naruto was not in Team 7, but with Team Asuma, since he was the only odd one out, Sakura being dead and Sasuke being not a shinobi anymore because he was deemed unstable. He was attacked by Orochimaru, who was the first one to discover his secret, his Mangekyo. But after his survival of that attack and using his same technique again to blast Orochimaru off, that almost killed him as well. We see that Naruto escaped alongside his team. And at that time, after finding out that Orochimaru will be around these Chunin exams, Hiruzen deemed it necessary because he knew the final battle will be approaching soon. Either him or his student will fall, inevitably. And so, he called back one of his students, Jiraiya, as well as summoned Naruto in his office. Naruto, this is your godfather, Jiraiya, the one who trained your father. I don't understand. Whenever I brought this up, you never mentioned anyone. Why now, Gigi? I can't explain this to you, or to Jiraiya, but know this, Naruto. Everything I did was in order to protect you, and ask for your father's wishes. Your father was Minato no Mikaze, the fourth Hokage, and it was his dying wish, when the time is right, you will be given your heritage. All of it. As the jar was placed in front of him with two eyes. As Naruto's eyes, what are those? Your father's eyes. They had the Mangekyo. Since the Mangekyo alone is not so powerful, even if it is a powerful eye, it has a drawback. It makes its user go blind slowly but surely. But having an eye of a relative, such as father, brother, it increases the vitality, making the Mangekyo transform into its final and full potential, the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, which will allow you to use the full potential of it, and even unlock the Rinnegan if possible, said Jiraiya, butting in. As Hiruzen nodded, as Naruto was shocked. My mother, she, as your name suggests, was an Uzumaki. Kushina Uzumaki was her name. And she was one hell of a woman, said Jiraiya. Naruto frowned at this. Wait, kid, I didn't mean it in a wrong way. I mean, she was one hell of a woman because she had a lot of temper. I see. I guess. So what do you say, kid? Would you like to follow your father's first step? And follow this old man to become the best you can ever be? if you have me, said Naruto because he realized that he had a lot of bigger shoes to fill in. And even more so, Hiruzen was at least happy that he was able to do this job before the inevitable. As the months passed and the Chunin exams finale came, all hell broke loose once more as the Konoha Crush event began. Suna invaded alongside Orochimaru. As Naruto, using his Sharingan, the turtle one, was able to summon Susanoo and take down the forces alongside with the one-tailed, we see that on the other side it was already too late once Naruto arrived there to find that not only Hiruzen Sarutobi was dead, but so was Orochimaru. Because this time around, Orochimaru went with Hiruzen because he summoned the Reaper and killed him. In exchange of his soul, the Reaper would have the Orochimaru soul with him, tied for eternity, suffering because of all the suffering that his student has caused. And that is what happened, as the payment was repaid in Hiruzen's soul. As now we see, Naruto at Hiruzen's funeral was crying. But the council, they were planning, because Danzo had realized they did not needed the damn Uchiha brat. And Minato and Hiruzen were hiding fewer bigger things. And that is when the true secret was revealed in the form of a letter left to the council and to the village as a confession, which was read by Danzo. I am leaving this letter because I know of the secrets that I have hidden from all of you. Now I know that you have given me nothing more than respect and adoration for my years of service to you. But know this, everything I have done is in order to protect you and for the best interest of this village. I would never harm it. Minato was the son of an Uchiha who was banished, who shall not be named, and a civilian Namikaze woman. And once he was born, thanks to the Namikaze gene, he was hidden in plain sight. But the Uchihas, deeming him as a traitor and a lowly of the species, hunted him down and killed him. Soon after they discovered that he had a child with the woman hid their child, and luckily enough, they didn't look for it, because after killing the woman who claimed that she had thrown her child off the cliff, they were satisfied. As everyone felt sickened to their core after finding out about this, of what the Uchihas have done. And not only that, once Minato was close to dying, he awoke in the Sharingan on the same night of the Kyuubi attack, and then the Mangekyo. He made me vow that I would keep this a secret, and only reveal when it is necessary to his son, his successor, Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, the child who was born that night, and was burdened with the unfortunate fate of carrying the Biju within him, the one we all have blamed, in one or another way. As everyone gasped as this revelation, as after that, it was revealed even further of the Uchiha's treacheries, and then the village was in outrage, demanding for Sasuke's blood. As Danzo smirked, knowing what Hiruzen has done, even at that he was planning, a cunning old bastard, he would expect nothing from his rival. And I deem my successor to be either Jiraiya or Tsunade. If both deny, then my successor to be will be Naruto. Because it is his dream, his father and mother's dream. And knowing him and his history and lineage and how powerful he will be in the future, he will be the ideal Hokage. Naruto was shocked that his GG has left him as a recommendation, as Jiraiya then said with a smile, a sad one. Who would have thought that the cunning old man would do something like this? What do you say, kid? Why don't we go and bring in the Kage to hold the seat for you? Wait, what do you mean? You're also one of the nominees, Jiraiya, sensei? No, kid. I'm not good for the Kage seat. But I know someone who will. And after convincing the council, Naruto and Jiraiya left, only to return after a few weeks to discover that there was an organization known as Akatsuki after them. And not only that, with Tsunade as well. Because this time Orochimaru was dead and they didn't have to battle him out. And Tsunade was able to recover because of the Akatsuki attack. Because the Akatsuki struck him when Tsunade and Jiraiya and Naruto were talking. Because of the battle and the heat of the moment, Tsunade was able to break out of her curse and then able to return to resume her position as the 5th Hokage. But she also liked the brat as her son. As the time went on, we see that Naruto, after that incident, discovered that Sasuke has defected because of Kabuto Yakushi, a canon from, well, the Chunin exams would turn out to be the disciple of the fallen sun in Orochimaru, who wanted revenge alongside his minions, and has taken the opportunity to bring the Uchiha to their side. And Naruto was tasked to bring him back, or either kill him and make his eyes destroyed completely. Naruto and Sasuke went all out, but this time Sasuke had a card up his sleeve, the curse mark seal, which surprised Naruto, and because of the Chidori that it, well, was taught to him in an incomplete form, caused the explosion, causing Sasuke's hand to explode. Enough pain to unlock the Mangekyo, while on the other side Naruto to have serious injuries and knocked out. I defeat you, fake Uchiha. I am an elite, even if it hurted me. I am always the one standing on top. You and Konoha will pay for what they have done. Mark my words, Uzumaki. I am coming for you. As after that we see Naruto opened his eyes back at village, but this time around, he was pissed. But that is when Jiraiya swooped in and told him that they would need to go on a training trip. And so, 3 years went by. Naruto returned stronger than ever, with only a visible scar now on his face. That was the memory of Sasuke and his battle. And soon after his return, they got the whereabouts of the Orochimaru's hideout. Naruto this time went there with full force. As Sasuke was giving him the taste of his Mangekyo, Naruto gave him the taste of the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan by summoning a fucking meteorite from the sky and demolishing everything. At that very moment, Sasuke realized one thing. No matter how hard he tried, he could never surpass this damn Uzumaki, who was a superior Uchiha to him. As now we see, Sasuke realized this, but his, arrogance would allow him to see through it, was killed because of his own arrogance, who wanted to defect a goddamn huge boulder with his katana that he was holding, which broke like a twig and break him like a twig as well. After Naruto was satisfied, we see that Naruto returned, but with nothing in his hand. He made sure that Sasuke was buried there, but that was going to be a mistake that would come to bite him in the ass later on. As a few months later, a new organization known as the Akatsuki that they have faced before emerged once more after the long decaying death, and this time around they were targeting the Jinchurikis. Gaara was the first one. As their news reached the other ears, we see that Naruto rushed to his aid. After saving him thanks to the sacrifice of an old lady, we see that the plans were bigger, because Gaara was able to discover that they had the plans to overthrow the whole elemental nations. Soon the preparations began to prepare to take them down until one masked person appeared and declared war on them. And Naruto was forced to train as well, much harder. And no matter how he trained, he knew that he wasn't strong enough to save anyone. That is when he had an idea. He sat down in a meditative position and closed his eyes, and arrived next to him, the only being that he didn't wish to speak with. So my container finally arrives to talk to me. After all these years. Look, I'm getting straight to the point. You don't like me, and I don't like you. But can I ask you one thing? Sure, what is it? Would you? No, I will not support you in this war, even if you know that your siblings are being targeted. Huh. You think that will enrage me? My siblings can take care of themselves. We are 1,000-years-old beings, kid. What do you expect from us? You certainly would want to return into a stone that is standing there. At these words, Kurama's eyes widened. What did you say? A stone that is hideous. It ate the Shikaku, the One-Tails. That stone. That is not a normal stone, kid, that you're mentioning. I've seen through it to your memories. That stone is the husk of the Ten-Tails, and if we all are within it, it will reform. And whoever will become its Jinchuriki will possess the power of the sage. It is not good at all. Not good. That is why I request you. No, I beg you, please. Help me with this war. You know I hated the Uchihas, right? They are the cause of the pain as much as the Uzumakis are. And knowing that you hate the Uchihas, I might help you. With this one, because of what you have done to the Uchihas and their clan. Okay, said Naruto, a little bit confused. But after that, Naruto broke the seal. The QB at first had the idea to break free, but then realized that even if it did, it would be captured. So, he had to cooperate with Naruto. While doing so, we see that Naruto achieved the KCM2 state. As Naruto began to train, the war arrived. And once the battle began, it went like in canon. As Madara was revived and so was the other dead Kages to even out the battle, but even still Madara was becoming victorious over and over again, until it was discovered that Naruto was a direct descendant of him. As Madara was surprised and had a sneer on his face. I cannot believe my descendant would reduce to this patheticness. Killed with a mere spear to the stomach. Screw you, Madara. As Naruto was thrown to the other side, we see that his father, who was revived as well by the Edo Tensei, rushed to his aid. And as he was helping Naruto, we see that Naruto woke up alongside the inside of Kurama in his mindscape, and this time with another being. The being that gave him his power, the power of the sun and the moon seal. As this was going on the other side, Kaguya Otsutsuki emerged after Zetsu betrayed the Akatsuki and even Madara, revealing the true plan. And this time Naruto emerged as well, as he had Magatama orbs behind him, a white Susanoo to boot, and a black staff with white rings in them. His eyes were purple with rings and tomos in them as well. As Naruto then said, "It's been a long time." "It is. You possess the essence of both of my children. Even if I do, I won't allow you to harm any of these people. I request you, Kaguya-sama, please retrieve." "And you know very well my answer, mortal. I won't. I have come here to take what is already mine." "Then it is inevitable. We shall fight." And the battle that shook the earth then took place. With each slash, the earth shook. The mountains turned into rubble. As the ground began to split, the thunder boomed. But in the end, it was Naruto, using his cunningness and brain, and the agilities, in the end, that become victorious, sealing Kaguya away and apologizing while throwing Zetsu to be this time around sealed alongside her, saving the rest of the elemental nation and becoming their hero. And a few months passed, we see that Naruto was back inside Konoha alongside everyone else as the elemental nation was being rebuilt. As Naruto has become popular not only in Konoha but even to the widespread elemental nations because of him being the savior of the whole of it. Jiraiya was alive and happy that his grandstudent, became the one to end the war and bring peace as he had wished Minato would. I just wish Minato was here to see this. It is good to finally see through it after three legendary wars, and a lot of battles. We are finally seeing this, Tsunade. You're right about that, Jiraiya. Here's to the new Chief Peace. Yeah, I guess you're right. While on the other side, Naruto was about to face another issue that he had ignored for far too long. Ino has been on his ass. And Naruto, he too has confessed to her, and now she wanted to get married and settle down with the damn hero because she was getting tired of these women's ignorance of following an already taken man. Her man, nonetheless. As Naruto did knew how to tackle Minato, who was extremely jealous and being possessive over Naruto. But in the end, Naruto knew it was all because she adored him and loved him like he did. As this is where I'm going to be leaving this story off, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one, and if you did, then make sure you leave a like and subscribe to my channel, as this is Apollo Uchiha, and I'm signing off for the day. Peace!